Generally, in case of telephone networks, the main point is quality of speech. So ultimately, our object is to provide a quality speech to the subscriber. For example, the quality of speech is not good. That means you are getting some disturbance at the subscriber end. He may not satisfy. Generally, we are going to determine the customer satisfaction. Generally, the telephone networks are interested to specify the quality in terms of the subscriber satisfaction. It is called as reference equivalence. A rating system standardized by CCIT to grade the customer satisfaction is known as reference equivalence. So ultimately, our object is to provide a quality speech to the subscriber for the satisfaction. Generally, we measure the satisfaction as a parameter called as a reference equivalent, RE. So RE of a telephone, how to measure? What are the equipments you can see in this system is? One is a telephone set at a transmitting end as well as at receiving end. This is first one. Second one is subscriber loops for transmitting and receiving. And third one is switch, nothing but the exchange. So we have to find out the REs of these equipments to find out the total RE, called as ORE, overall reference equivalent. Okay, generally to measure these REs, we have to go for a test. Okay, here we are using some test called as NOSFER test. NOSFER test we are going to conduct here. To know the customer satisfaction or to find the REs, we have to use an NOSFER test which is conducted at Geneva, which contains some standard transmitters, receivers and cables. With the help of those equipments, we are going to find out the reference equivalents of our telephone set, receivers and the cables. So for that we have to follow some setup. This is called as a NOSFER setup. One is for transmitting, for finding TRE. What TRE stands for? For transmit reference equivalent, and RRE means receiver reference equivalence. Okay. So here this is the test equipment, a test transmitter, and this is the NOSFER transmitter. Here to test the speech, we use one language called as a LogAtom. So LogAtom is one type of standard language used for testing the speech quality. LogAtom means it is nothing but one consonant plus one vowel followed by one other consonant. This is going to form a one syllable word, which uses a one syllable word comprises of one consonant plus one vowel followed by another consonant. So here to perform these tests, they are going to use some trained listeners and trained speakers are required. Okay, here they are going to transmit this. So speaker is here and the listener will be here. Okay. So here, this is a test equipment. So here the test equipment, the quality of the test equipment is analyzed with the help of this adding or removing the dBs. For example, if I can take it as TRE as positive, means the test equipment is having inferior quality. If TRE is negative, it means test equipment is having a better quality when compared to the NOSFER standards. Okay, so here we'll see one problem to find out the ORE. So the main point here is I have to find out the overall reference equivalent of a local call. They are giving some specifications here. For telephone set, the TRE is some 3 dB and RRE is minus 3 dB. And for subscribers loop, the TRE is 10 dB and RRE is 8 dB. And for switching exchange, the RE is 1 dB. So it is simply looking like this. This is your telephone set and the transmitting end having 3 dB. This is a transmitting end wire. It is having 10 dB. It is connected to an exchange. So this is switch which is having 1 dB. And this is the receiving wire having 8 dB. And this is the receiving telephone set having that RRE minus 3 dB. So generally the ORE is given as sum of these REs. So this is 3 plus 10 plus 1 plus 8 minus 3. So nothing but 19 dB is the overall reference equivalent for a given local call. Okay. Go 5 minutes. How much time? 1 hour time. 1 hour. So the main objective is to find out the overall reference equivalent for a local call in this problem, which is given as 19 dB. So here, what are the points you have to remember here? What is the meaning of positive dB and what is the meaning of negative dB? Positive dB means to bring, this is the nose for, and this is our test equipment. So to bring the test equipment standard equal to the nose of fur, we have to add some dB of some dB. Then we can say that it is having a positive TRE or RRE. Okay, to bring the test equipment standard to the nose of fur standard, we have to add 5 dB or some dB to the system. That is called as, then you can say that this test equipment is having a positive dB, positive TRE or RRE. For example, to bring the test equipment standard to the nose of fur, if you remove some dB from the test, then we say that it is having a negative TRE or RRE. Clear? If it negative means what it indicates? Negative means the test equipment is having more standard than the nose of fur standards. Okay? So you have to remember these 2 points, why it is positive and why it is negative. Okay? And come back to here. What are the points I have studied here? The attenuation limits. The first thing is quality. Speech quality is important. So to get the quality speech output, we have to standardize our equipments. What are the equipments we are having? The equipments is a telephone receiver and a transmitter and the cables and the switching exchange. So for all these equipments, you have to find out the reference equivalents. Generally, according to CCATT, okay, the quality factor is specified like a RE. The grade of customer satisfaction is known as REs. Okay. Okay. So next one is some of the issues on subscriber loops. So how to cover subscribers too far away? Generally, an exchange is going to cover some radius. You can able to cover the subscribers who are present within the radius. For example, a subscriber is here. If you want to give connection to the subscriber, you have to follow some rules. Because for a single exchange, for a single subscriber, I cannot lay one more exchange here. That is a foolish thing. Right? So here, the main objective is how to cover the subscribers who are far away. We know that for a given town or city, we may contain 1 or 2 exchanges, not more than that. Okay. In small towns and all, you may have only one exchange. Some of the subscribers may place far away from the exchange. So for the subscribers, it is very difficult to install one new exchange for providing service to few subscribers. In that case, with the help of some techniques, we are going to provide service to the subscribers who are far away from the exchange radius. So here there are some techniques here we use. One is use of higher diameter wires. So what is the use of using higher diameter wires? Let's see, go back to the table. So this is having the highest diameter. As diameter increases, the resistance decreases. So since the formula is there, more the diameter, lesser the resistance. Therefore, as the resistance is less, we can still increase the length of the subscriber loop. That is the first technique they will follow to accommodate a subscriber who is far away from the exchange radius. Second one is use of equalizer telephone sets. So generally the ordinary telephone set requires 23 microamperes of current for proper energizing, right? This is the point already we know. So what are the factors that limiting the length of the loop means? I is equal to V by R. If current is reduced for a fixed voltage, then we can increase the resistance for a given current limits. Therefore, the idea here is, if I am using a equalizer telephone set, this telephone set requires some 8 to 12 milliamperes of current for proper operation of microphone. This equalizer telephone set uses 8 to 12 milliamperes of current for its proper operation. Since current is reduced, here there is chance to increase the resistance. That means indirectly I can say that we can increase the loop resistance further. So this is another way to accommodate a subscriber who is away from the exchange radius. And third one is use of higher supply voltage. You can see the third parameter here. If you still increase supply voltage for a given current I, if I increase the voltage further, there is chance to increase the resistance. If resistance increase means automatically you can say that you can increase the length of the cable. So you will see some examples here how to use a higher supply voltage. So this is, here you can see some symbols here. This symbols refers to the subscriber instrument. Okay, and this symbol refers to the loaded cables, and this symbol refers to the amplifiers. Okay, so in the diagram we can see that if the supply voltage of 48 volts, okay, we can able to accommodate 80% of subscribers for length of 5 kilometers. For example, some of the subscribers are away from 5 kilometers. In that case, what can we do? If I can able to increase the supply voltage, therefore I can able to accommodate subscribers who are in the range of 5 to 8 kilometers. So 95% of the subscribers can be covered. Okay, so still if I want to increase the more number of subscribers, I can go for a loaded cables. So if I am going to use loaded cables, I can increase the loop subscriber distance between the exchanges 10 kilometers. So what is loading? So already in EMWTL subject, we studied the concept of loading. Loading means adding wire or wounding wire over the conductor is called as loading. So what advantage of loading? Loading reduces attenuation. Generally, the loaded cables are having less attenuation when compared to the ordinary cables. Generally, loading is nothing but adding inductance. Adding inductance to the line is called as loading. So, to load the cable, we have to wound the wire on the cable. Okay, so this is called loaded cables. Generally, there is specific notation is there to represent the loaded cables. The notation is this one. The conventional way to represent the loaded cables is, it contains some number, an alphabet and a number. This number indicates the gauge number. The first number indicates the gauge number, and the alphabet indicates spacing in terms of kilometers, and last one indicates how much inductance it is going to add because of this loaded cables. So the 3 points you have to understand from the notations of loaded cables. First one indicates the gauge number, and second one indicates, the alphabet indicates the spacing between spacing, and last one indicates how much inductance it is going to add to the system because of the loading. So here the table gives the information about the alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, H, X, Y, and it gives the spacing between in terms of kilometers. Okay. So from the table or from this diagram, you can observe that by increasing the supply voltage as well as by loading the cables, we can able to increase the distance between exchange and subscriber, so that we can able to accommodate or provide service to the subscribers who are far away from the exchange also, without installing a new exchange. So for that, the cost may increase. For example, we are going to charge more amount for the subscribers who are far away from the exchange radius, because you have to use some loaded cables, some amplifiers in between to boost up the signals and all. Okay. But installing exchange is too much costly when compared to installing such type of cables. Okay. So these are the ways and means are going to follow for covering the subscribers who are far away from the exchange radius. And some of the issues you have to see further is how to cover dispersed subscribers. For example, in case of some small areas or towns, we may have few number of subscribers which are going to use the telephones not frequently. Often they may use. So in such cases, our objective is reducing the copper. Why have to reduce the copper? Already we know that 30 to 40% of the telephone network cost is because of the copper wires only. If you reduce the copper wire, then definitely you can reduce the cost of the system. Okay, so here some mechanisms are there here to reduce the copper wire for a dispersed subscribers. First one is party lines. What is the meaning of party lines? Means we are going to use a pair of wire for two subscribers. So for A and B, we are going to use one pair of wire. Generally for A and B, have used one pair of wire for A and one wire pair for B. This you have to use in generally. But in case of dispersed subscribers, we are going to use only one pair of wire for two subscribers. Okay, so this mechanism reduces the copper, but it is having more drawbacks. One is, first one is, we don't know, because we cannot just discriminate whether a call is getting for A or B. Even A is getting call or B is getting call, it is going to ring both the subscribers telephone sets. Because they are using only single wire pair, it is going to ring both A as well as B telephone sets. Therefore, the privacy is missing. If A is getting a call, we can able to listen the conversations. of A. Therefore, privacy is missing. So this is a problem they are going to face if they are going to use a party lines. Okay. And second one is FDM on TDM. Frequency division multiple axis or TDM, time division multiple axis. This is what we covered in the previous chapters. With the help of TDM, you can able to accommodate more number of subscribers on time basis. Okay. And next one is using concentrators. So here, this is the mechanism that I'm going to use here in concentrators technique. So here we use some device called as C by E. That is called as concentrator by expander at a receiving exchange as well as some exchange. In between two exchanges, we are going to connect these two things. So here, these are subscribers connected to this C by E. So these C by E's are powered by some power feeders which are coming from the exchange. A local remote exchange, it is going to power these two equipment, C by E's of at a subscriber end as well as at a exchange end. So the idea here is they are going to accommodate one junter for 10 subscribers. As we know that the number of calls originating is very less. So for these 10 subscribers, if you provide 10 lines, unnecessarily we are wasting the copper wire. The main objective here is to reduce the copper wire. Okay, since the time for originating the calls is less, these 10 subscribers may not do calls simultaneously. So for that reason, the idea here is if I am having 100 subscribers, I can use only 10 juncters. So that I can reduce 90 copper wires. So this is the mechanism they are going to use. So for these subscribers, with the help of few lines, they are going to establish connection between the subscriber to the exchange. So we can save lot of copper with this mechanism, but this network becomes blocking if multiple calls alternate at a given time. That is the only drawback in this mechanism. But the advantage is you can reduce the copper and you can reduce the cost of the system. And the other point here is subscriber loop interface. So what is the subscriber loop interface? So we know that signaling and speech transmission is present between the subscriber and exchange. So to interface these subscriber and exchanges, we have to use some interface mechanism. So directly you cannot able to connect the subscriber and exchange. We have to use some subscriber loop interface mechanism in between the subscriber and exchanges. So this subscriber loop interface should perform some functions. So whatever function that should perform means, it is a shortcut method, short form you have to remember here, BOR SCHT. So B stands for battery feeder, O stands for over voltage protection, R stands for ringing, S stands for supervision, C stands for coding, H stands for hybrid, and T stands for test. So these are the functions that a subscriber loop interface has to perform. So already we covered some of the points in previous class itself. The battery feeder we covered and the ringing we covered in the previous classes. And some of the points I know here is what is the use of over voltage protection, supervision, PCM, hybrid and testing. Okay, so here coming to over voltage protection. So here we use the help of an L2 wire, we are going to protect the system from the over voltages or surges. So for that we have to use some differential circuits. So the use of different circuit is whatever the common, that is, it is going to suppress the common mode signals. So generally the noise or you can call it as surges. Because surge is common for both the circuits, that can be nullified with the help of a differential circuit. So with the help of a differential mechanism, by providing a earth wire, we are going to protect the circuit from the over voltages. Okay. And next one is supervision. So we already know that for every 5 microseconds, the exchange has to scan all the subscriber lines for checking the off-hook condition. This point already covered in the unit 1, right? The exchange has to scan all the subscriber lines for every 5 microseconds to verify the off-hook condition, so that it can able to send the dial tone to the subscriber. So this is nothing but your one of the supervision operation that should be done by this subscriber loop interface system. Coming to the coding, generally you can use either an analog or digital switching systems that we already covered in the previous classes. So if it is analog, means simply with the help of the wires can able to connect. If it is a digital, means you have to go for conversion. It has to use either a D to A converter and A to D converters at the ends. Because speech is analog in nature, it should be converted first from analog to digital, and it should be transmitted, and at the end again have to convert it to digital to analog. So for digital transmission, we use some PCM coding techniques. Okay, that is called coding. What is hybrid? Hybrid means, so generally for analog, it uses a two-wire mechanism. So one for transmitting and one for receiving. If you come to digital, so if the two wires are not sufficient to transmit the signal, it uses 4 wires. 2 wires for transmitting and 2 wires for receiving. So here we know that for longer distances, you should use amplifiers in between the circuit, because this amplifier requires 2 wires generally. Therefore, while converting analog to digital networks, we have to go for a 4-wire mechanism. So hybrid nothing but it is a 2-wire to 4-wire converter. It is called a hybrid circuit. So finally it is called as conventional testing. So for this coding, hybrid testing comes under for digital transmission and extra when compared with the analog transmission. So these are some of the topics, and this is a circuit which is used for converting a 2-wire to 4-wire. This is called as an hybrid circuit. So we see here a telephone is a 2-wire mechanism, that is because it receives only analog signals, therefore it requires only 2 wires. It is mapped to a digital transmission. It contains it requires 4 wires. 2 for incoming and 2 for outgoing. Okay. So here by properly matching the impedances, we are going to isolate the input and output. Okay. By properly biasing or choosing this impedance, we are going to nullify any signal that is connecting between the input signal and output signal. Okay. So it internally uses some transformer techniques. A transformer for dividing the signals. So this is about a hybrid circuit which is used to convert a 2-wire system to a 4-wire system, which is used for digital transmission. Okay, so this is about subscriber loop interface system. In the next class, we'll discuss about the routing plans. Thank you. ఎంత 24.